Alright, today we're going to slow things down and talk about worms. Now you may think that you know everything there is to know about worms, but you'd be wrong. Dead wrong. Today we'll focus on three types of worms: annelids, nematodes, and platyhelminthes. All three types of worms are descended from protozoans. What are protozoans, you ask? Well, those are animals that develop a mouth before an anus. And you might be surprised to learn that we are actually deuterostomes. Those are species that develop an anus before a mouth. If you look at this graph here, you'll see that the two species of worms divide into two groups: Echidiozoa and Locotrochozoa. I like saying those words. The Echidiozoas become the nematodes and bugs, while the Locotrochozoa become annelids, flatworms, and mollusks. Let's talk about the annelids. These include earthworms. What separates these worms from different worms is that they have segmented bodies. That's where you can see the little bands going around them. Contrary to popular belief, if you split an annelid in half, it doesn't actually become two worms. What is actually happening is it's having a seizure and dying. It's like unplugging a cord from a TV. All you're doing is severing the connection. People use them to compost material because nutrient cycle. Basically, they take rotting stuff and poop out dirt with a bunch of enzymes in it. Fun fact about earthworms: they're not actually native to North America. You see, what happened is they came over with early settlers from Europe. So they're actually an invasive species. They can actually be pretty harmful to the fungal networks. You see, there's fungal networks between trees. It's kind of like a wildlife version of the internet. But earthworms go in there and they eat everything. We're not going to get into polychaetes because I don't want to talk about them. Now let's talk about nematoda, or as some people call them, roundworms. Why are they called roundworms? Because they're round, I guess. They got a chitinous shell. A lot of the microscopic worms are actually pretty parasitic, including heartworms. Heartworms are transferred by mosquito bites. You see, when a human gets bit by an infected mosquito, nothing happens. But when a dog gets infected, the heartworms make their way towards, you guessed it, the heart, where they start to party and reproduce. And it's a pretty dangerous procedure trying to remove them. Moving away from that heartwarming topic, let's talk about flatworms, otherwise known as platyhelminthes. Flatworms are pretty simple, and that's saying a lot considering they're worms. They don't have a digestive tract, they're barely bilateral, they don't have much of a nervous system. Funny thing though, remember when I said that if you cut open a segmented worm, it spazzes out and dies? Not so with flatworms. In fact, you can cut it up worm 1,000 times, and each little bit will become a new worm, assuming there's enough nervous system in it. They're strange little buggers, aren't they? You might not know a whole lot about flatworms, but I'm sure you've definitely heard of tapeworms. They're actually classified as platyhelminthes. They enter your system through eggs, but they lay host in the digestive tract where they leave little hooks and find their way into your intestines. Try not to pull them out, that'll just become two different worms. I know, contradictory knowledge, but such is life. Alright, well, that's all there really is to know about worms in Alberta. So, yeah. Okay, bye.